This is the Best or Worst Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Koji Stephen Sakai and M. Martin Mapoma.
All right, welcome. This is the Best or Worst Podcast, episode 54. I am M. Martin Mapoma.
And I'm Mr. Koji.
Mr. Koji.
Mr.
All right,
Koji. Our society is so focused on celebrity, we sometimes forget that regular people lead interesting lives too. Best or worst moment of your life, hosts Koji, that's me. And Martin, that's you.
That's me.
Are here to let your story out. We put people on the spot. What are you going to hear? It could be funny. It could be poignant. It could be sad. You'll know when we know. Best or worst is now a twice weekly podcast. On Tuesdays, today, we get to know our guests. And on Thursdays, we find out their best or worst moment. And so today, for episode 54, I am super, super excited to bring on my friend, my writing partner, my confidant. And if you guys see behind me, you'd see a picture of him on my wall, literally. It's Dwayne Perkins. Dwayne, how are you?
Hey, what's up? This is a great idea for a podcast, and thanks for having me. And good to see Martin here as well.
And Dwayne,
sorry.
Wow.
Dwayne is.
No, you didn't. Oh,
Every black person must do that. I'm sorry.
No, actually, every white person does that to me.
Oh, okay.
You're the first brother, man. You got the award.
I don't know if I'm in good company on that one, but it's okay.
No, it's okay. I thought I escaped it, but I guess so.
Yeah.
Dwayne is from Brooklyn, originally
Yes.
from Brooklyn. He currently lives in LA. He's a comedian. He's a writer. He's an actor. He's an everything man. He also writes for a game show, which is exciting. But anyway, Dwayne, how are you, Dwayne?
I'm good. I'm well. You know, I can't complain. It's like that's how people. You know, my biggest beef, which they're not even beefs, but were traffic. And on that game show I write on, Funny You Should Ask, the hit show where every question has a funny answer. I didn't like going into work. Like, I loved the people I work with, but I just thought, guys, there's got to be a better way. And I hated traffic. And then in one fall swoop, I got a situation where I was working from home and there was no traffic. So it just took a global pandemic.
Oh man, I hear you on that one.
So me personally, I can't complain.
Yeah. And are you doing comedy shows online?
Yeah, I'm doing. I've done a few in person actually, in backyards and stuff, but mostly Zoom shows.
And how are those?
They're good. There's a range, because if the people who are running the show are really good and they know what they're doing, then it can be really good. There's a science to it. You have to basically mute everyone except for maybe 7 or 8 of your best laughers. And so it's kind of crazy. Like, you can be on the show and everyone's muted except 10 people and they're cracking up. And you just wonder, okay, is everyone else cracking up? Or are people watching this like, what the hell is so funny? I don't get it. And then vice versa too. Like, if you're not getting any laughs, you're like, you know what? Let's mute out these people. Let's get some other people in here. So it's challenging. Huh? It's very controlled. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because if you don't mute everyone, I've been on shows where they just let people self-regulate, and then you got people like blending smoothies, drinks. It's a next level of heckling, because it's not even like they're heckling at you. It's literally they're just doing something.
That's got to be the worst. It's like complete indifference.
Right.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't think I ever asked you this, but how did you get into comedy? Were you always a funny guy, or were you?
You know, it's weird. I loved comedy growing up. I loved it. Watched it. I was a guy who, like, I knew, like, everyone knows, like, the main comics, you know, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. But I kind of also knew these other guys, because I would just, every time it was on, like Evening at the Improv or whatever, I would watch it. And I was somewhat funny in school, funny in, you know, all school, elementary school, going forward, I was funny. But I never thought of it as something you could do, really. I had no idea what that path was. And then 2 things happened. One, I came back from college break. It was either like a holiday break, and we came back. I think it was summer break. And this guy I know who, you know, was a cool dude, he told me I started doing comedy over the summer. And I was like, you started doing comedy over the summer? And I was like, well, I'm the funny one, you know? And so that kind of sparked me. But I still didn't do anything about it. And then I was at a Black Business Expo in New York City where they sort of showcase Black businesses just to encourage Black people to spend their money with other Black people. And there was a comedy club there just trying to like sort of drum up support in terms of like business, the Uptown Comedy Club. And then it just hit me. I went over to them. I said, hey, how do I do this? I had been thinking about it. And then they said, yeah, just come to like a Wednesday workshop. And then that Sunday we'll put you on. And so I did that. And I wrote like 4 minutes. But even before that, I'd written down that I had a job opportunity in Seattle. And I was like, it was a summer job. And I'm like, if I don't get this summer job, I'll start doing stand-up. And so I didn't get that summer job. And I started doing stand-up.
Wow. That's
That's cool.
So
you didn't know that, Koji?
No, I don't think, as long as I've known you, I don't
always tell that story. I literally wrote it down, and the job interview was with Microsoft. It was actually like to test software. And
wow.
You could have been way richer.
I know. Yeah.
You could have been like a billionaire.
Yeah. And I'm sure I could have done comedy there too. You know what I mean? I just needed to. I just didn't. And I think when I look back at that interview, I know I got one question wrong. And I should have like emailed them or I don't even know if it was an email, but I should have contacted them right away to say, thank you. I realized I got this question wrong. I don't know if that would have made a difference or not. But it's fine.
It worked out.
Yes.
Well, so I was kind of hoping to hear that like you're going to get your ass kicked or something. And then you said something really funny, and you decided that moment you're going to be.
Koji's always about violence, man. I love it.
Well, in those moments, I don't get funny. I either it's just basic fight or flight in those moments. But I am pretty funny if I'm ever with a girl sexually, and not that this happens too often, but if I come up really lame and it's just not a good situation. Then I immediately start being funny afterward, because I figure that's my only path to getting another try at this. He was completely whack. Oh yeah, completely works. Yeah.
Girls like to laugh, man. I got to tell you.
Yeah, he was completely whack, but he was really funny. Like my funniest is like if I was gonna if I do another special, if I could plan it, I would like have sex right before. Be really bad and then go on stage
with her in the audience, right?
Right.
She's like, I get this nigga the chance,
Right.
Yeah, it's hard, girl. It's funny, yeah. It's really hard to be mean when you're naked and laughing.
Right, and you just want to sort of like distance yourself from what just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was a fluke.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I ever tell you how I started writing, or when I realized I was going to be a writer?
I don't think so.
No, I never told you. So I was on the water polo team, and I was coming home from like this long trip from competition. I remember the whole way home, I just like made up this long story about my family's past, and it was all basically just one big lie.
Right.
And all my teammates were like, "Wow, this is crazy! You have such a crazy story." And my coach,
you told them this. You were telling them. I was
telling them the story about my life. I don't even remember what it was, but I just made up this long story. And at the end, the coach was like, that was all bullshit. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you should be a writer. And I was like, maybe I should be a writer.
Wow. I felt like she like knew that if you didn't do that, you might be a con artist. So let's steer you in a way that's a little
positive direction.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even know you played water polo, and that's amazing. Like, your lung capacity, your ability to tread water, like that's just all amazing. Because in water polo, your feet can't touch the bottom, right? It's not that kind of water.
No, you don't want them to touch the bottom because some people will like swim right over you and you won't come back up.
No,
I see.
Well, no, you get penalized if you touch the bottom.
Yeah, that too. But
that's amazing.
It's funny because like we used to, like if a guy was in like one Speedo. Like the first moment I'm like, dude, I'm taking that shit off. Like, I gotta take, cause like the whole time, like you're playing somebody, like I stick my finger into their pants to see if I could like take it off, because the moment you could take it off, you pull it down, you catch the ball, you score.
So is
You
there
know.
refereeing below the water, or it's just like
No,
below the water anything goes, and above the water?
There's a rule that says anything under the water is fair game. That's why you get kicked, you get punched, you get grabbed. That's why you have to wear 2 Speedos because it's so tight. You can't get you don't want anybody to get any kind of thing. And you just got, you get punched. I mean,
that's why it's a white man sport. You can't have a brother wearing 2 Speedos.
Right.
No way, that's not happening.
It's the ultimate white guy sport because it's so dignified, like the way it's perceived.
Yeah.
And above the water, it's so pristine, and below the water, it's
super violent. I mean, I remember all the girls on my team would get just felt up the whole game, and then I was always pissed because we'd have to the players on the team would have to fight the other people because we had to protect our players. But I'm well, why is she on the team? If she wasn't on the team, I would have to go fight every time. You
have co-ed water polo?
Yeah, because we were small.
That's
small
crazy.
Private.
A bad idea.
So we start swimming, and we'd swim, and we just hit the people as we're swimming, and I'm just man, why are we doing this? Every game we were fighting. It was madness. So anyway,
that is crazy. But it almost seems like it could be a competitive advantage too, because those guys are in the water with a girl in a bikini. That's going to take their focus. They're not focused on winning.
No, I don't think that. So wait, so you moved out to LA, right? When did you move out?
I started doing comedy in New York, then Boston, and then I moved to LA some 20 years ago.
Wow. And
just been doing comedy and writing and all that jazz. Me and you've been doing projects,
Yeah, and acting and everything, right?
Yes. So yes, it's been a good run. It's crazy when you're not a superstar, because people think some people think I'm rich, and they're wrong, and then some people think I'm starving, and they're wrong. I'm just a guy who pays the bills doing what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's always the biggest misconception of Hollywood is that you're either super, super wealthy and making a lot of money and famous, or you're totally broke and you're living on the street homeless.
Which is crazy, because as an actor, I mean, for me, I've been here almost 20 years now too. It's, I have friends of mine that I started acting with in Chicago. They live here now, and they bought houses, a couple of houses, and they're no one, people walk past on the street and don't recognize them, but then they're starving.
Yeah.
It's a big misconception. And even I remember, I don't know what it was like for you, Dwayne, but for me, starting out as an actor first in Chicago, I tell a girl I was an actor right away. Oh, okay, so you must not have any money, and I'm like, what?
Right.
I'm not rich, but I wasn't broke.
So do girls like the fact that you're a comedian, or is that a thing, or is that?
I think it's it's a zero-sum kind of situation,
Explain.
It's almost like you're saying, Martin, for every girl that might like it, there's another girl that's danger. I don't want to be a part of this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think more of them than I found the other, actually.
Yeah. And I think, especially with comics, we have a reputation of being sort of if you know comics, people think we're miserable off stage, and some fit that kind of prototype, but I don't think. And I think people think either you're always being funny, or you're just sort of this tortured soul who needs to make people laugh. And I get it. I mean, this usually with comedians do have some dysfunction in their lives, but I like being pretty normal. That's why I live near Pasadena. I just like it, At some point, your art can't be complete therapy. It can be a little therapy, but if you're just sort of living and dying by it, then you won't find happiness, especially a field where someone else makes certain decisions that have nothing to do with how good you are and all of that. You got to find some other kind of grounding,
I remember my favorite thing you've ever said to me was at South Pasadena, that South Pasadena is Highland Park adjacent.
Right.
and I remember that forever. Especially as Highland Park becomes this mecca for hipsters, gentrification and stuff. It's but you were there before. You were there before.
I was there before the hipsters. And I think
Are you in Highland Park?
I am, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
And
I'm in Eagle Rock.
Oh, nice. So there you go. It was weird. I have weird people when people ask me to like for fantasies and dreams and things like that. Even though I'm a writer and like, you know, Koji and I, we can sit down and make up some outlandish thing. Whenever people ask me like, "Oh, what's your dream? What is your this? What is your that?" It's usually something that's like real basic and easily attainable. You know, like someone says like, well, you know, like, "What's one of your fantasies?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just want to drive up the coast and listen to like a whole album or two." You know, you can do that anytime. You can do that today. You know.
That's funny.
It's just stuff like that, and like, but my dream, I know, and dream, I used to, I'm saying dream because that's the word I used, but now I realize that was kind of a too big of a word. But I was always like, my dream was to live in Eagle Rock, you know. And then I know, it's crazy.
Eagle
but
Rock.
At the time, I was living in Tarzana, so I don't know if that.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
that'd be my dream too.
And so then I moved to Highland Park, and I had a sense it was near Eagle Rock. And when I first moved here, I'm just driving around, getting the lay of the land. I go up Figueroa, and I like where Fig hits Colorado. I go up there, and I see this little mountain, and I go, "Wow, that little rock or whatever, it kind of looks like an eagle." And I go, "Wait a minute, that's the Eagle Rock. That's actually the Eagle Rock. I made it, you know."
Let's start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Right.
Eagle Rock. That's the Mecca.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm so like. Sometimes I'm a little too practical. It's a little like just, you know, like I think I bought an extra pair of shoes to my prom so I could switch, you know, stuff like that.
Wow,
that's amazing.
But yeah, I really like it here. I tell people since I predate some of the hipsters, as people move in to my little condo area here, you know, there's always that second when they're looking at me, you know, especially when white people move in, and you could see their wheels turning, and that because just gentrification is happening, and they're looking at me and they're like, "Are you coming or going?" You know, like that's what they really.
Oh wow! Now is that the locals or the ones that are moving in?
It's the ones that are moving in. Yeah, the ones that are moving in.
Side-eye?
Not really. I just think they wonder what my story is. Am I coming or going? You know?
Yeah.
Because it's weird. Like when I moved here, the gangs were still, I guess, somewhat prevalent. I've never had any issues, but you know, the avenues gangs and all of that, and people would be like, "Oh, be careful, Mexican gangs and black gangs, they clash, and they don't like black people and this kind of thing." And I never got any of that really. But you know, once people start talking about it, then you start noticing and you see like spray painting different places, avenues, and you know, like I said, I've never had any trouble. But I was like, okay, let me move carefully. I'm from New York, where there's not really that much division between you know, black and brown.
Yeah.
But now the hipsters are moving in, and it's like I actually miss the gangsters. You know, like
yeah,
because it's just there's stores on Fig, like my main street here. I don't even know what they sell. I don't know what. I have no idea what their business is. It's just
cupcakes, bicycle.
Yeah, like you look in and it's like there's like a bamboo tree, cabinets. Yeah, tacos maybe. One place literally is bamboo trees, cabinets, and I think like you know blenders. So they
wait.
I
The
think
one
they
on
just
Fig? The one on Fig?
yeah on Fig.
What are you talking about? Makes no sense.
Yeah, and I'm like,
There's a lot like that, man. There's a lot.
What do you guys actually sell? I don't know if it's a front. Maybe the gangs got smart and they said, "Yo, let's invest in one of these hipster businesses to be a front."
It's real easy to do that.
But also, I mean, for the gangs, you're not dressing up like thuggish. You know, you don't like I think my pants sag more than your sag.
Right,
I think like you're not like wearing like your hat tilted. You're not like strutting down this. I mean, you look like a respectable man. So I couldn't imagine like you're like you're not.
You don't appear to be a threat, is what he's saying.
Yeah, right.
Well, but if you but as an Asian person, like I dress up like crazier. Like I'm like.
You do. Koji, you do. It's pretty funny. Because you don't care about clothing, Koji. Remember, you don't care about your clothes.
Yeah,
You're like,
that,
if it fits me, I'm going to wear it.
Well, even if it doesn't fit me, I have to carry my pants. I'm going to hold my pants up and run.
Wow.
Right.
So you're saying that you haven't run into any Billy Steeles, have you, Dwayne?
No. You mean like thugs? You mean?
You know who Billy Steele is, right?
I'm not sure.
Oh, so it's if you go to YouTube, you can see it. So Billy Steele, I cannot stop laughing and talking. Coach, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
So Billy Steele was this. Apparently, he's a YouTube personality in England, and he was in the subway and he was harassing 3 young black kids. I swear to God, the video was like 10 minutes long, and 7 of those minutes, he's saying the worst things in the world that you could possibly think he would say to these kids. And these 3 young kids, black kids, didn't say a word. I was tripping like, they're not gonna say anything to him, and all the people around him are like, "Shut up, be racist." And he's like, "Look at you, whatever." He keeps talking to them. He's not big, but he's not small. He thinks he has strength. Long story short, the train stops and these kids stop. They all 3 of them get up, and he walks over to the door and standing there looking all hard. Two of them walk off. One of them turns around and from that door to the back door,
Wow.
lays him out. He was wearing glasses. I don't think those glasses have landed yet. It is the most hilarious thing because I swear I thought he was dead. I mean, he hit that back wall and just lay their eyes wide open for like 5 minutes.
That's crazy. And this happened in England or in
if you YouTube Billy Steele and watch the whole thing, you will first of all, you won't believe this guy's getting away with saying what he's saying. And those kids are just cool, like, okay, gets up, gets ready to walk off the train. One kid just turns around and right hooks him, dude. It was unbelievable. He was out for like 5 minutes, easy.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, dropped him.
That's
So my whole caption was Billy Steele gave his sermon, got baptized, woke up a hashtag.
That's great. I mean, you don't want to condone violence, but at the same time,
oh, he deserved it, bro.
It sounds like he deserved it. Yeah, and he had enough time to disengage, to walk away.
Well, it's like
I only bring it up because it's one of those things that you have to see to understand. Because it's hilarious at the end.
Right.
Anyway, so.
Well, it's like one time I was on the Gold Line and this guy, I think he looked like a teacher, like maybe like a middle school, elementary school teacher. Anyway, he looked like a teacher. He had his bike and these 3 kind of thuggish looking Latino dudes were like messing with his bike. And you could tell the guy was getting irritated. So I took my headset off. I was like, "Oh, fight. It's going to be awesome." And then between the time I took off my headphones and when I looked back up, he must have said something that was really funny because by the time he must have had a lot. The reason I think he's a teacher because he had so much experience with kids, he said something funny to them and it totally diffused the situation. And the kids stopped messing with his bike and they were joking and laughing the rest of the time home.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was just like one of those things where it's like, wow, like it could have gone so bad. He could have been like, "Stop touching my fucking bike" or something. And it could have gone like a whole different direction. But he said something that was funny and poignant and these kids could relate to some way. And it just totally diffuses. And I just remember thinking like, I wish I heard what he said because that would have been powerful words.
Oh man, I wish you should have asked him, dude.
But I was just so taken aback
Took
by
the headphones off.
Well, because I was trying to hear what was going to happen next and take a video of this.
What's funny is like, if you said to him, "What did you say to them to make them laugh?" I said, "Look at that Asian guy with those headphones on."
World star. All righty. Well, I think we're at the end of this episode. Martin, why don't you tell us a little bit about the survey?
Okay, guys. Hey, Martin again here, guys. So we have a survey on the website, that's the worst podcast.com. Please check out the survey. It's only 5 questions long. It's very short. But if you do fill out the survey, you will get the opportunity to win one of Koji's graphic novels. It's called 442. It's an amazing story of the Japanese-American unit that fought in World War II, called the 442, the most decorated unit of the war. And I've read it. I've told people over and over and over again. It's amazing. It's extremely educational, and it's a can't miss. And everyone that I know that's read it likes it. So this is your chance to get that for free by going to our website and filling out the podcast. The link will also be at the end of this podcast in the notes as well. So if you get a chance, please fill out the survey. It helps us make the show better, make it better for you guys as well. Also gives you an opportunity to be on the show as well. But again, like I said, you get an opportunity to win the graphic novel 442. So please go to the website, fill out the survey. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Martin. And you're getting better at the survey talk. Every time we say it, it's getting better and better.
I'm a slow learner, real slow learner. When I catch on, I just take off.
Excellent,
right.
Excellent.
Michael Jackson was like that. It took him a long time to learn the dances, but then once he got it, he could do it better than everyone. Yeah.
Seriously?
It took him forever to learn the dances. That's what they said. Like the choreographed dances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that, man. I'm Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Well, thanks,
Now I don't feel
Dwayne.
so bad about my end. I'm just kidding.
Right.
By the way,
Dwayne.
real quick, that's cool, dude. But you have like someone scoping you out on your screen.
It's like
Yeah, it's
comedy show.
I had a Zoom show last night, so this background is still there. Yeah.
Oh, it's a background with
The
that.
background. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get that.
All right. Well, thank you guys. And Dwayne, we'll see you next episode.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Bye,
Awesome.
guys. Thanks for listening.